Welcome to the Near Still Waters podcast, where we journey together towards clarity and calm in the midst of life's storms. Hi, I'm your host, Susie Lubbers, a wife, a life coach, and a mama to 7 amazing grown children. Having homeschooled all of my children, including my special needs child, I've navigated the challenges of raising them and experienced the bittersweet moments of letting go. This journey has not been about teaching academics, but also about discovering how to find peace and purpose through every season of life. You can learn more about me and my mission at nearstillwaters.ca. In this space, we're dedicated to empowering moms. Whether you're in the trenches of homeschooling, navigating special needs parenting, seeking to rediscover your own passions after years of putting others first, you're not alone. Together, we'll explore strategies to bring clarity into the chaos of motherhood and uncover ways to cultivate calm within ourselves, even while accomplishing the hard things. Each episode will share stories, practical tips, inspirational guidance to help you embrace your journey with grace, resilience, and faith. So grab a cup of coffee, take a deep breath, and let's step into a space of learning and growth. Welcome to the Near Still Waters podcast, where your journey to clarity and peace begins. Welcome to another episode of Near Still Waters, where we explore the heart of homeschooling with faith, grace, and intentionality. I'm Susie Lubbers, and today we're diving into a topic that's close to my heart, the joy of slow learning and homeschooling. In a world that often values speed, efficiency, and checking off the boxes, the idea of slow learning, slowing down, might feel countercultural, especially in your homeschool journeys. But there's a beautiful, enriching side to learning at a slower pace, one that allows our children to truly savor their education, explore their passions deeply, and grow at their own unique pace. Join me as we unpack what slow learning looks like in a homeschool setting, how it benefits both the child and the parent, and how we can embrace this approach to foster a more joyful and meaningful learning experience for our families. Whether you're new to homeschooling or you have been on this journey for years, I hope this episode will inspire you to find the beauty in slowing down and truly enjoying the learning process. When I embarked on the journey of homeschooling our 7 children, I was eager to dive into the wealth of educational resources and methods available. Like many parents, I felt the weight of responsibility to be sure my children received a well-rounded and good education. Yes, as we moved through our days, I noticed something unsettling. The joy and wonder I had hoped to cultivate were often overshadowed by the relentless pressure to keep up, to move faster, to check off all the boxes. It was in the midst of this whirlwind that I began to ask myself a pivotal question. What if the key to a meaningful and fulfilling homeschool experience wasn't in doing more, but in slowing down? The answer to that question led me to embrace what I now call slow learning, an intentional approach to homeschooling that prioritizes depth over breadth, joy over productivity, and meaningful connection over rigid schedules. Slow learning is not about abandoning academic rigor or lowering expectations. Rather, it's about fostering a rich, well-rounded education that respects the natural pace of childhood and the unique rhythms of each family. By choosing to slow down, we can create a homeschool environment where learning becomes a joyful, lifelong journey rather than a race to the finish line. In the broader world of education, there's emphasis on productivity and timelines. The homeschool community, unfortunately, isn't immune to this pressure. The constant drumbeat of faster is better, sooner rather than later, and hurry up and get it done often leads parents into a frantic state of doing and achieving, all the while wondering if it's enough. In the rush, the joy and delight that should accompany learning can easily be lost. Slowing down, however, offers a chance to reclaim that joy. Over time, I stopped measuring our success by how much we accomplished each day and began valuing the joy we experienced together. Our best days became those where we laughed, explored, and marveled at the world around us, not because we checked off every box in our lesson plan, but because we were fully present with each other. Slowing down sounds wonderful in theory, but putting it into practice can be a challenge. Over the years, I've noticed a pattern among homeschool parents that mirrors what I've seen in traditional school settings. When children are young, parents often embrace a slow childhood, focusing on creating wonder, imagination, independence, and creativity. They believe in the benefits of peacefully based childhood. But as the child grows older, panic can set in. Suddenly, parents become preoccupied with what their child should know to be prepared for the world beyond school. This anxiety can create a distorted view, leading to a frantic and shallow pace of learning, with outcomes that don't match the intention. Even in the early years, fears can creep in, especially when faced with learning challenges, unspoken competition with peers, or standardized assessments. Perhaps you're a parent who feels overwhelmed, barely managing to get through the day. Nothing seems to be working smoothly. Motivation is low, and you haven't found that elusive secret sauce that other homeschool parents seem to have. Your fears may stem from a sense of personal failure. Whether you're on this journey, I invite you to consider an alternative, a life lived at a slower, more intentional pace. So, what is slow learning or slow schooling look like in practice? It's characterized by several key principles. So, it's depth over breadth. Whether you're following a curriculum or allowing learning to unfold naturally, slow schooling values deeper understanding over superficial mastery. It's about building deep roots rather than wide ones. It's focusing on what matters. Slow schooling encourages you to curate a better learning environment that does fewer things better. It prioritizes meaningful work and takes the time to appreciate the wonders of the world. It also respects the process. Slow schooling honors the time it takes to build knowledge, understanding that processes need time to unfold. It's not just about getting the right answer, but appreciating the journey of learning. It's a child centered learning. This approach respects a child's interests and the time that it takes to cultivate imagination and develop authentic skills. It's about finding joy in the process rather than rushing toward the predetermined outcome. Slow schooling is about preserving wonder. It seeks to preserve a sense of wonder in children of all ages. It allows for spontaneity, surprise, and the flexibility to linger on topics that capture their imagination. It creates a space for peace and adventure. Slow schooling it commits to creating space for that day, for peace, for adventure, and meaningful connections within the family. It guards against overscheduling and rigid expectations, allowing for a more relaxed school and joyful home environment. It redefines success. Success is not defined by how quickly or how much your child learns, but by the richness of that learning experience and the joy it brings. Slow schooling embraces a broader understanding of what it means to be successful in both learning and life. So, is slow learning really possible? As appealing as slow learning sounds, the reality is that it's not always easy to implement. We all come to homeschooling with preconceived notions about what education will look like. For me, these ideas, of course, were deeply influenced by my upbringing. I was or am Dutch in background. So my parents instilled in me that I needed a Christian education and that God was the center of it. And I still believe that. But this also meant exceeding the teacher's expectations, taking school seriously, and prioritizing good grades over friends and fun. The idea of doing less, taking time to figure things out, or going at my own pace was not really an option. I had to keep up. That was our Dutch heritage. We had to exceed everyone else. Adopting slow schooling for my own children has been a journey, one that involved reevaluating my own biases, reconciling conflicting thoughts and desires, and letting go of control and staying present to the truths my children demonstrate daily. And it hasn't been easy, but it has been rewarding. One of the biggest misconceptions about slow learning is that it's unproductive or lazy. On the contrary, slow learning is about focusing on quality over quantity. It's about spending time on things that are worthwhile rather than cramming as much as possible into one day. A letter from Harry Lewis, a former dean of Harvard Colleges, to newly admitted students resonates with this idea. He advised students to slow down, limit their structured activities, and use their unstructured time to explore their true interests. He emphasized that slowing down doesn't mean abandoning high achievement. Instead, it's about allowing yourself the time and space to think, reflect, and engage deeply with your work. Are you navigating the rewarding but challenging journey of homeschooling? Do you sometimes wish for guidance tailored just for you and your family's unique needs? Hi, I'm Susie Lovers, Christian homeschool life coach, and I'm here to help you find clarity and peace in your homeschooling adventure. Join me on my podcast, Near Still Waters, where we explore the joys and hurdles of homeschooling with faith and love at the center. And here's something special just for you. I am offering a free one-on-one coaching session to help personalize your homeschooling experience, ensuring that it aligns with your family's values and goals. Whether you're looking for fresh teaching strategies, need help balancing your day, or want to deepen your self-awareness techniques, I'm here to support you. This is more than just advice. It's about building a community and growing together in faith and knowledge. Spaces are very limited, so don't wait. Visit nearstillwaters.ca or click the link in the episode description to schedule your free session today. Also, I'm offering a $27 course on children's different learning needs. So there's different ways that your children learn, and it's very important for you as a parent to discover what that is. I've created a course with a beautiful, full-fledged e-booklet to go with the course. It's just a mini course. It won't take long to get through, but the knowledge is abundant. Go to nearstillwaters.ca, click on the Unleashing Potential, find Nurturing Your Child's Learning Style. You will be able to download for $27 this small mini course, along with a beautiful workbook that you'll be able to go back to again and again, and you will be able to help your child in a way more effective way as a homeschool parent. This is a must-have for every homeschool parent, all at the low cost of $27. Get your copy today. As parents, we're naturally our children's biggest fans. We cheer them on, celebrate their milestones, and take pride in their achievements. But if we're honest, we also have expectations that our children will be extraordinary in some way. We project our fears and our desires on them, subtly instilling a pressure to perform. Many parents worry about their child falling behind academically. This fear stems from the belief that children need to meet a certain milestone at specific ages, following a linear, standardized timeline of development. But if we reject the idea of standardized education, the concept of falling behind becomes irrelevant. Instead, we can trust our children will learn at their own pace. If we provide them with support, resources, encouragement, and time, they will grow and thrive. Learning is not a race, and our children are not competing against each other or against a national standard. This shift in mindset is crucial. It allows us to see growth, development, learning, and education through a different lens, one that prioritizes the child's individual journey over external benchmark. Slow learning is not only confined to one specific educational philosophy. Whether you follow unschooling, Charlotte Mason, classical education, or eclectic mix, slow learning can be integrated into any approach. It's about finding freedom and joy within your chosen path, teaching the child rather than the curriculum, and using time to build meaningful experiences. There's a misconception that slow learning is only suited to relaxed or unstructured educational styles. In reality, it's about preparing for challenges, developing resilience, and embracing flexibility within any educational philosophy. Slow learning allows children to manage their own learning, see themselves as capable, and develop skills they need to face challenges. One of the most common concerns among homeschooling parents is the fear of learning gaps. The reality is that gaps in learning are inevitable, regardless of what education setting the children are in. But rather than seeing these gaps as failures, we can view them as opportunities for growth. Learning gaps are often a result of standardized education, which equates what is taught with that which is learned. But learning is more than acquiring information. It's about developing critical thinking, problem-solving skills, creativity, and a love of learning. Slow learning allows us to take a long view of education, recognizing that not all gaps need to be filled immediately. Children will naturally revisit and deepen their understanding of topics over time. They will also become more adept at identifying and addressing their own learning gaps as they grow. Slow learning doesn't mean ignoring traditional academic subject. Instead, it's about finding a balance and doing fewer things better. While foundational academic skills are important, they don't need to be mastered earlier or faster. Children can go on to excel in these areas even with a later start. Striving for balance in education is crucial. It means allowing time for play, creativity, and freedom alongside traditional academics. This balance fosters a more holistic approach to learning, where children can develop a wide range of skills and knowledge at a pace that suits them best. It also means recognizing that learning is not confined to a particular subject or schedule, but it is an ongoing process that happens in everyday life. One of the most beautiful aspects of slow learning is the opportunity to infuse delight into an educational experience. Without the pressure to rush through material, we can take the time to make learning truly enjoyable. This goes beyond making lessons fun in a superficial way. It's about creating rich, meaningful experiences that captivate the mind and heart. When learning is delightful, children are more likely to engage deeply with that material. They become curious, ask questions, and explore topics with genuine interest. This kind of learning is not just about absorbing information, it's about fostering a love of learning that will last a lifetime. In our homeschool, we had many moments of delight. I remember the day we put aside the planned math lesson and instead spent the afternoon baking bread. These kind of different things can make homeschooling more enjoyable. The experience will be hands on and deeply educational because there's a scientific chemical reaction to making bread, if you can believe it. It's a perfect example of how slow learning allows for spontaneous, joyful exploration that still meets educational needs. It's easy to think that slow learning is only suitable for young children, but its benefits extend well into adolescence and beyond. As children grow older, the pressures of standardized testing, college admissions, and future career prospects can make parents feel that a faster pace is necessary. However, teenagers too can benefit from peace and intentionality that slow learning offers. During the teenage years, it's especially important to pressure families' values and resist the urge to rush. Adolescents need time to explore their interests, develop critical thinking skills, and engage in meaningful work. They also need a space to build relationships, reflect on their experiences, and prepare for the challenges of adulthood. Slow learning during the teenage years doesn't mean avoiding rigor or hard work. Instead, it's about providing the right kind of challenges, those that are meaningful and aligned with the teenager's interests and goals. It's about helping them develop resilience, independence, and a strong sense of self. One of the greatest gifts of slow learning is the long term impact it has on our children. When we prioritize depth, joy, and meaningful connections in our homeschool, we're not just educating our children for the here and now, we're preparing them for a lifetime of learning and growth. Children who experience slow learning are more likely to become independent thinkers, creative problem solvers, and lifelong learners. They're also more likely to develop a strong sense of self and a deeper appreciation for the world around them. These are qualities that will serve them well, not just in their academic pursuits, but in all areas of life. Slow learning also fosters strong family bonds. When we take the time to learn together, explore the world together, and enjoy each other's company, we create memories and connections that last a lifetime. These experiences become the foundation for a strong, loving family culture that supports each family's growth and well being. So, how do we start embracing slow learning? If the idea of slow learning resonates with you, you might be wondering just how to start incorporating it into your homeschool. So, here are a few practical tips to help you begin. Reevaluate your priorities. Take some time to reflect on what matters most in your homeschool. What are your core values? What do you want your children to take away from their education? Use these reflections as a guide to your decisions about what you will focus on and what you will let go of. Simplify your schedule. Look at your current schedule and see where you can create more space for slow, meaningful learning. This might mean cutting back on extracurricular activities, reducing the number of subjects you cover each day, or allowing more time for exploration and play. Follow your child's lead. Pay attention to your child's interests and let them guide the learning process. When children are engaged and excited about a topic, they're more likely to dive deep into the learning mode and learn more thoroughly. Trust their instincts and be willing to adjust your plans based on their needs and their interests. Be sure to incorporate hands-on learning. Look for opportunities to learn through real-life experiences. This might include nature walks, cooking, building projects, visiting museums. Hands-on learning allows children to engage with material in a meaningful way that often leads to deeper understanding. Be sure to focus on relationships. Make space in your day for connection and conversation, whether it's reading together, discussing a book, or simply talking about your day. These moments build strong family bonds and create supportive environment for learning. Slow learning requires patience, so be patient, both your children and with yourself. There will be days when it feels like nothing is getting done or when you doubt whether you're doing enough. Trust the process and remember that learning is a marathon, not a sprint. To illustrate the power of slow learning, I'd like to share a few stories of our own homeschool journey. When our youngest girls were hitting their teenage years, I wanted to help them both earn some money and gain some confidence with themselves. What began as a simple project quickly grew into a season-long learning experience. We learned how to garden, bake, and deal with many people as we started our spring garden and baked to sell at some local markets. We researched different selling techniques and planned the layout of the garden and took responsibility for planting, watering, and caring for the crops, not to mention shopping for particular items to bake bread, muffins, cakes, and many other goodies. We also sourced an organic ice cream and sold that also. As the weeks went by, we learned so much of organization, dealing with customers, kindness, and hard work in the garden, and even dealt with the disappointment of things not going as planned. The kitchen, the garden, and the markets became a living classroom where they learned about science, responsibility, and the rewards of patience and hard work. By the end of the season, we had a modest amount of money, but more importantly, we had a rich collection of memories and experiences that taught us far more than any textbook ever could. My youngest son struggled with reading from an early age. While other children his age were quickly advancing in their literacy skills, he found it difficult to keep up. Rather than pushing him to meet arbitrary benchmarks, we decided to take a slow, supportive approach to his reading journey. We spent time reading together every day, choosing books that interested him and allowed him to build confidence at his own pace. We also incorporated activities like storytelling, word games, and audiobooks to keep this process enjoyable. We went with a totally different approach than we had with any of our other children, and he began to thrive. Over time, he began to make progress. It wasn't a quick or an easy road, but by allowing him to learn at his own pace, he eventually developed a love for stories. Today he can read, but he loves more than reading to listen to audiobooks and thrives in knowledge that way. It looks a little different, would have thought, but it's still good, and he has discovered the joy of reading in his own way. The slow approach allowed him to build a strong foundation and, most importantly, to discover the joy of reading in his own terms. Art has always been a significant part of our homeschool, as we approached it with a slow, exploratory mindset. Rather than following a rigid art curriculum, we took time to experiment with different mediums, techniques, and styles. One year, we decided to buy a bunch of Bob Ross painting supplies and videos of him teaching his painting techniques. Before long, we had an abundance of friends who were interested in painting with us. It was amazing how the kids thrived and how well they learned to paint, just following along with him step by step. It was also fun to do it with both kids and adult friends. As we continued, the children naturally began to develop their skills. They learned about shading, perspective, and composition through experimentation and observation. The process was slow, but it was filled with discovery and delight. By the end of the year, we had created a collection of artwork that was uniquely theirs and a testament to the beauty of slow learning. In conclusion, when we talk about slow learning, I think the most important part is that we give each other the gift of time. And it's not just us giving the children the gift of time, but it's also the children giving us the gift of time, because time goes quickly, and before long, the children will be grown and living their own life. So it's a gift of time for everyone. In a world that often prioritizes speed and productivity, choosing to slow down in your homeschool can feel like a radical act, but it's one that is deeply rewarding. By embracing slow learning, you give your child the gift of time, time to explore, to wonder, to grow, and to build meaningful connections. Slow learning is not about doing less. It's about doing what truly matters. It's about focusing on the quality of educational experience rather than the quality of material covered. It's about fostering a love of learning that will carry your children through their entire lives. So, if you're feeling the pressure to keep up with a fast-paced world of education, I encourage you to consider the alternative. Slow down, take a breath, and remember that the best learning happens in the spaces where joy, curiosity, and connection thrive. In the end, the moments of slow learning, the ones filled with laughter, discovery, and deep conversation, are the moments that your children will carry with them long after their homeschooling days are gone. These are the memories that will shape who they become and how they see the world. And that, I believe, is the true gift of time.